pretty nicely. But as we said here, we're going to be just kind of keeping it old school, keeping it classic. We got Chase, we got Chag. Should be a good one.
Yeah, it might very well be a Palu ditto between these two. I do believe, actually, before we even get started with the top 64, yes, this is, I think, the last match that needs to be played before our top 64 is more or less set.
Okay.
This is to make it out of the pool.
But it's still best of 5, right?
It does mean that it is a best of 5.
Okay,
so
awesome.
We're going to get to see two of the best Palus in the world go at it here, Chag and Chase, and they're also just alphabetically right next to each other. So, I mean, we'll see if those similarities can continue into the game themselves. Game 1 on PS2, and that is indeed what we're seeing right off the bat.
Yeah, 100%. I have to confess with you, Kimona, I can't remember the last time I've actually seen a Palu ditto. Like, I feel like it's been a while, right? Like, obviously we understand Palu is a character that's never fallen out of the meta, fallen out of favor. But the ditto, I just don't see it that often. I'm very eager to see how it gets approached right now. Obviously, Chag looks like to be in firm control. Already got Chase up into those triple digits, so gonna have to prompt an immediate response from him.
And we'll see if that can continue here, right? Obviously, big damage on Palu is kind of scary, but she does have to kind of set up for pretty reliable kill confirms or force you into making a big mistake because she doesn't really have the best tools to open you up. That's going to be one of the things that these two are going to have to play around. As Chag fighting with this lead, will be able to just toss Chase into that left blast zone and take this lead.
All right, my man Chag. It's been a while since I've seen Chag out here doing his thing in California. I mean, I know this is a guy who's so worldly traveled, right? International Chag is what I started calling him because every time I check, he's on a different continent doing his thing. But good to have him here back in the States holding it down, and obviously Chase on the receiving end. A little bit of a beat down right now, I must confess. He got a pretty solid lead on him, so I'm looking at the chip into that, but really just not able to get anything going up until this point.
And that lingering nair is going to help him off the ledge as well. Chag is actually going to be able to escape with his life, even in that juggle situation. Something that Chase definitely capitalizes on extremely well. Wasn't able to finish his plate. Now Chag may be able to get his chance to continue to just rollick with this lead. 113 is getting close to where he got his first stock as well. So Chase, plenty of win conditions here to get back into this one.
100%. I mean, just looking for that right setup. I mean, at this point, you're kind of thinking, okay, yeah, I've taken a little bit of damage here, nothing too considerable, right? Yeah, and perfect. That up air to eliminate that first stock, keeping them well on even footing. Again, 52%. Nothing to be too concerned about. And look at that, just making it up in an instant. If you blink, you might have missed it. Chase just going off.
You said you didn't need to be concerned, and yet you remember that even though Palu is not one of the most explosive characters in this game, a couple of good reads can give you all the power that you need because she does have individually very strong moves. The question is how you set up your opponent to fall into those, and right now, man, Chase was playing from behind at the start, but he is absolutely cooking right now.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how I just took a complete 180, right? Like, what a difference that one stock falling off can really make and get that engine going. And Chase definitely showing he is by no means going to be an easy out for anybody who's going up against, including Chag. Palu ditto actually turning out to be one of the more exciting matches that I have seen today. And just like that, Kimona, Chase has taken the lead.
That is exactly what I was talking about when it comes to Chase's Palu in particular, too. He is so good at setting up and capitalizing off of those juggles, and he absolutely just hammered Chag for just a small little habit of drifting back towards the ledge. And that up air is certainly going to be enough to cover that. But Chag on his own comeback trail, we may just see this even up at 1 apiece if he can continue this ledge trap.
Yeah, not too far off from getting this stock. Obviously, 133, very fragile position to be in while you're en route to try and attack on some extra percentage, but not quite finding the mark just yet. Oh, here we go, a little bit of a nair plane opening up. Well, we'll take that. Straight hit, gonna get him off and alleviate some pressure, but still a favorable position.
And at these about 150% ranges, what you're trying to do in Chase's position, well, you got to avoid some of those anti-airs. That up tilt's definitely going to be enough to cover a few options off the ledge. There are a few more individual moves, especially the ones involving that shield, that you got to avoid being thumped by. But for Chag, it was all about that anti-air game, and here he comes once again with these nairs, pushing Chase into the corner, and there's that juggle with those up airs. That move has a lot of power, and my goodness, Chag got all the momentum at the end of that game 1.
You said a lot of power behind those hits, and Chag was like, well, let me give you a first-hand demonstration of it, and just goes on a complete tear to take out that final stock. That was actually insane. It was just like from 0 to 100 almost. Look at this.
The big problem for Chase is that he burned that double jump really early trying to escape it initially, so he had no choice but to just try to drift one direction, but that Palu up air can cover her own aerial drift so well.
79%. That was the final percentage after hit that Chag was able to take out Chase there. So wonderful, wonderfully played by him. I mean, you know, it gotta feel good for Chag, right? I start the match out in control. I want to finish the same way.
We'll see right now. if Chase can continue what he had at the beginning of that first game, see if the second game can go his ways. He switched up to the blue ult as well. Chag has been on the red ult this entire time in case you're trying to figure out who's who in any given moment. But here we go right now. Chase got a little bit of damage built up on him. Chag trying to keep control of the pace of the game, and getting to center stage is the important way to do it. 100%.
I mean, for Chase, you know, obviously it sucks to lose a game like that. Maybe in the manner he did, you mentioned you burned the double jump, but I mean, it's all about how you bounce back, right? Like in my opinion, it's like, okay, best of fives. You're always in a good spot as long as you can make it 1-1. I don't really care so much about the counter pick war. I just want to have the game count be even, right? So I feel like that's kind of where Chase finds himself in this position. Nice back air to go ahead and close things out. So that's definitely a good position to be in right here, trying to even things up.
Well, and you talk about that adaptation in a best of five as well. I mean, when you're playing in a Ditto, it is all about that adaptation. You have to find that, you know, you're not just going to be able to lord one tool over your opponent over and over, especially when you're both high level like these two are. You both have respect for each other's tools. You have got to find a way to make them struggle, and Chase a little bit of a misinput, probably trying to recover in that case, but nonetheless, that means that this game is right back to even.
Yeah, it's funny you said make them struggle a little bit. He just made it a little easier for Chag, right? Just kind of giving up that stock for free, and just look at the result of that. Chag not letting it go to waste, tacking on an incredible amount of percentage already, 89. Chase, my man, you've got to stop the bleed. Oh, that footstool! Oh my God, that footstool, bro, was OD!
I can't believe that he found that opportunity too, and all of that was set up by Chag because he had already burned all of Chase's resources. You remember that's how he ended that first game?
Wild.
That's how he got that stock too. He didn't even do a percent to him.
Yeah, man. Oh, all right, we'll take it. I like the back and forth, right? I'm loving the back and forth. Nobody consistently dominating. It's just like a little bit of a tug of war, if you will.
I mean, again, and these are two players that the Palut community, especially at that high level, is really, really tight-knit.
Yeah.
These two guys have probably played at least a couple hundred sets against each other at this point.
I was going to say, there's definitely, like, that level of familiarity has got to be there, too, right? Absolutely.
It's a level where you're not even trying to say, okay, this is the tool I want to use. This is how I want to beat you. It's just, you go with that back-and-forth game plan, and eventually it's going to be defined by big moments and a couple of big reads, and Chase almost got caught by one there.
All right, Chase in danger right now of falling down 2 games. Got to make a little bit of a stand right now. Chag has definitely usurped him, got all the control in the world. Only momentarily, though.
Great high recovery by Chag right there to center stage. Chase does live up to his name, though. He chases Chag all the way over to the edge, and another grab right there, getting really good reads on the teleports. Here's Chag with no double jump. Chase has an opportunity to fire back to Chag in kind the same way that game one ended.
This is huge. Chag taking so much damage. Chase really just unanswered at the moment. Trying to land safely to up air, gonna swing and miss on that one, but the chase down, nothing there.
Chag just hasn't been on top of the teleports the way that Chase has, especially the ones to center stage. Nice drag down into the grab as well. This is a big ledge trap for Chase too, and trying to be really mindful of that teleport to center. Chag finding his way back to the ledge, back to center as well. Could be his game to win if he maintains it.
It's amazing how much of a nail biter this is. This Palutena not disappointing at all. Straight hit. Gonna get him off stage. Chag looking to come back safely. Trying to fake him out a little bit with the teleports. Great dash attack. You can catch him here on the landing. No, I love the aggressive play from Chag, though. Not letting, oh my goodness, not getting bullied out of it, but going to get the stock. Let's go, Chase.
3 rolls in a row, and he chased after every single one of them. And
you said it, he lives up to his name. You said it, Kimona.
It's not just because that's what his parents named him. It's also because that's what he does. And again, you got to consider, he also played from behind a lot of that game, because remember that footstool. I mean, Chag really had a huge lead, and Chase just hanging tough. Like we said, it's not really about one specific thing. It's about getting a couple of big sequences.
There it is. All right, 1 apiece for these 2 Palu aficionados. See where we're going back to, obviously, Stadium. I have a feeling it's going to be all contested on Stadium. It kind of seems like the norm for this, right? Oh my goodness. Wasn't nothing normal about that. Wasn't nothing normal about that, Kimona. Good God.
I was about to say, man, Chase is just mad. After that footstool happened, he was like, oh, Chag, I'm not your friend anymore.
That's true.
I'm not your friend. The switch has flipped.
That is actual facts. Wow, not even 20 seconds into the match, you see Chase just exploding. Great job on his end, so that's really going to have to prompt Chag to mount a pretty big comeback at the moment.
It looked like Chase missed something like a VAR or an attack cancel right there. Got a forward tilt instead, so Chag definitely gets to set himself back up on stage. But, I mean, we talked about it in that last game, right?
Yeah.
Playing from behind so far is a really, really difficult situation to be in, especially in a Ditto and especially when you know your opponent can match your skill. But Chag is going to have to hang tough and, again, find one of those big moments to really give him a fighting chance.
Yeah, matching your skill, matching your win conditions as well, knowing those options are going to take to make that comeback a reality. Just makes it so much more difficult for Chag. And Chase knowing that, again, finding himself in a pretty comfortable position. Not too bad for Chag, though. He's got him on stage, whiffing on the explosive flame, but I do like the pressure he continues to put on Chase, giving him a taste of his own medicine now.
That's sticking to him like glue through that whole ledge trap sequence. Even after the ledge trump, a lot of powers just swing that back air immediately, but Chag is just on top of Chase, definitely getting himself an avenue back into this game, but Chase looking for the big combos off stage as well. Once again, also right behind Chag every step of the way.
That's what you got to do. Okay, a couple of airplanes coming through. Yeah, easy delivery for Chag. We got here all about the pressure right now for both of these guys. And I'm starting to see it develop a little bit. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm starting to see Chag picking it up, but good Lord, picking it up just to set him down. That was a crazy spike.
We talked about needing that one big opportunity, and it really seems like these games are starting to be defined by one solid moment. And the down air, the footstool right, sending somebody into the bottom blast zone seems to be the story between these two. Chag finally getting to play with the lead now, and he's looking for even more with this ledge trap now. I love the spacing, and Chase also being mindful, making sure that he's not giving Chag a chance to counter.
Sometimes I feel like there's almost that sense of like that extra bit of pride involved in matches like this, right? It's like, okay, well, you know, whom is the best Palu, right? Because you can definitely argue it's up in the air with a couple competitors out there for sure, but gotta imagine winning that Ditto going a long way in people's minds on how they would perceive that. So obviously for Chag or for Chase, huge set right now. Chag in control, taking it back from Chase, and man, it's looking like, I don't know, man. Chase kind of like running out of maybe like a little bit of steam so far.
Yeah, no, I mean, it seemed like, again, like things kind of shifted after Chag footstooled him that one time, and he was like, okay, I'm in the zone, I'm locked in, no more Mr. Nice Guy. And now, after he really demonstrated his dominance for a moment, Chag has just come back and kind of said the same thing, right? Now I get to rule this game.
I would agree with that 100%. That attitude definitely serving him well right now. Has yet to relinquish this stock. 148. He is playing a lot on that right side, but yeah, Chase finally, due diligence of pursuing him, going to pay off and get that stock off. So anybody's game here. Don't get it twisted. We've definitely seen the comebacks happen before.
You also just have to be afraid of a Palu with rage, right? Like you start feeling like, okay, I've got an 80% lead. Palu's not really a comeback character, but one juggle, just like you saw in that game one, can lead to everything you need.
Absolutely, man. Taking stocks at 79 is nothing to play around with.
The teleport cancel and then almost opening up a full combo. And honestly, if there was just like 3 or 4 more percent, could have been Chase's game to win, but a little bit too mindful of the ledge trap, missing the ledge, and Chag taking the 2-1 lead.
All right. If you're Chag, you're feeling pretty good right now. Chase needs to make sure he doesn't let any frustration get the better of him. I feel like that can sometimes be the downfall of some of these players right on the cusp of greatness. That was actually just tremendous. There's actually a lot of good replays you can actually get out from this set here. And the forward tilt not even needed, just put it out in case, not able to come back. So here we go, Chag, one more game to seal this stock away.
I love that the announcer is counting down and Chase is still on his phone. I'm like,
you gotta get the right
game's
song.
About to start.
You gotta get the right
song.
song.
Hear us.
You know? Panic at a Disco, man. That's what he listens to. I don't know. I'm just assuming. It's a good band.
I can agree that I was just searching for a reference to make that wasn't like a song title because that would take like 5 seconds.
There you go.
It's too long.
That's fair. Very, very fair.
But if Chase can take his time as well himself, he can find a way back into this set. Again, he did have a pretty dominant win in that game too. If he can fire back in kind on those even number games, definitely could be his set to win, but Chag still has not yet relinquished control of the game. I mean, Chase definitely dancing to his tune right now.
Yeah, 100%, man. You can definitely tell Chag, you know, as you said, just really dictating the pace and having all the answers, you know, covering those landings perfectly, dictating the pressure on the stage, everything working out for Chag at the moment. And Chase just struggling. He just wants to regain some footing here, get that offense going, but none doing at the moment.
I like the patience there, right, though, recognizing that Chag was going to retreat all the way to the corner on the right side of the stage, didn't throw out anything too preemptive. And honestly, most of the time when I do see Chase throwing out something, it's definitely not too committal. Even the juggles where he's going for a really early kill, he's making sure that he has enough room to drift away from Chag and not get countered.
All right. Well, and easily into the triple digits for both. Okay, should be a back throw. Yes, sir. Wow, that's kind of like, I was going to say, right, the way he just kind of went through that. Definitely flirting with death on that exchange, no doubt about it. Nice, that was really slick. Just catch him a little too much time in that shield. That's going to give the first lead here to Chase. So Chag can respond. Okay, pops him back up and just immediately letting that fair fly. Great play.
I love the way that these two have been approaching the ledge game too, man, because they've really been playing with the idea that it's really easy to tell kind of what win condition Palu's setting up for, whether she's ledge trapping or ledge guarding. You can kind of tell, okay, back turn to me and short hopping while I'm grabbing onto the ledge. Yeah. She wants a back air or, you know, something like that. She runs up, she might up smash, which, by the way, we haven't seen it all between these two, but
that's actually true, and I want to say, yeah.
These two both play with that expectation really, really well, where they kind of understand, they both know that's how Palutena works. So it's all about like those tomahawks into the grabs where you're threatening that back air and then you cross up and just jump into the blast zone. Any kind of that, both of these guys are doing so much of that kind of gameplay.
100%. You kind of see it just making the difference little by little. And right now, great game for Chase. I mean, keeping pace with Chag is really all you're asking for here. Not trying to get overwhelmed. Has a pretty decent lead with this percentage. He's trying to go to distance here, trying to bait out maybe an air dodge. Chag not giving it up for free, but still the pressure remains on, and Chase absolutely on it right now. I think Chag has had a moment to breathe in the last 30 seconds.
I love Chase right there. We saw a lot earlier, especially in that game too. He was expecting a lot of teleports to center stage from Chag, and that's always what he was covering. He's noticed that's not what he has been getting, and I love the early bailout because he knows how dangerous Chag has been with those particular juggles off the platform.
Definitely.
Okay, we're LARPing right now. It's just fireball, explosion.
I've actually done that before.
Is it fun?
It was something. it was
it's
something.
Enthusiastic.
There you go.
Nothing
wrong with that. I gotta appreciate that. Much like these guys, I mean, obviously two very enthused Palu mains duking out, giving us a heck of a show. Would not mind seeing this go to game 5, but Chase gonna have to clutch it up. Obviously, Chag known to be a threat in any situation. Wow. You see it right there. Good stuff from Chase. Need to clutch up, and definitely did it on that delivery.
Back air extremely effective right there, just thanks to the fact that Chag was doing a lot of these short hop fast fall retreats, right? Trying to maintain his space, but making sure that he could back up and respond to Chase if he got aggressive. But that just caught his DI going straight into the blast zone, and Chase definitely going to look to capitalize on that lead. A couple of nairs to set up on the platform, but Chag, man, these escapes from disadvantage are lightning quick.
Yeah, it's really just the little thing that's helping propel him further and further with this lead. Even at 131, not too much shying away from the fights, obviously trying to pick and choose the moments, and there it is, finding those little openings, and just look how much that damage is starting to accumulate hit by hit.
Man, Chase really on the initiative right now. Like, Chag's standing still in the corner, and Chase is still hopping around, but Chag gets his hands on him, tosses him into the blast zone one more time, and Chase really does need to make sure that he maintains this lead, or else he's going to have to fight through a demonic loser's bracket.
Yeah, that's like the one place you don't want to be. And I'll tell you what, you already hear just like a name like Riddles down there already. Yeah, I'm trying to do everything I can to keep this winners run alive for as long as it is permitted. This is big swing right now. I mean, I feel like Chag just kind of knows, you know, he's got that extra little maybe clutch factor, starting to let it show.
And he's also starting to get a little bit more aggressive too. We see kind of full drift in with a lot of aerials, where traditionally he's been very, very conservative about giving up center stage, making sure that Chase can't have it. Right now, falling victim to another movement bait there from Chase, not able to find a back air himself. San Diego native gets pushed back into the corner. Now Chag. Sick. Oh, set up on the platform, explosive flame, not enough, but here's a juggle.
Chag's in a great position to punish. Oh my goodness, that back air, yes. Great setup right now for Chag. We'll see if he lets Chase survive a little bit longer. He does. Oh my goodness, maybe a little ill-advised on that explosive flame, and Chag looking a bit dejected, or excuse me, Chase looking a bit dejected as Chag takes it 3-1.
He knows that that was definitely a game that he could have won, and took a big risk with that explosive flame. I mean, he was in the lead for most of it, but Chag really just chipped away at him over and over and over until eventually it did just fall apart, and one little moment did let Chag finish it off.